I'm done with relationships. I'm happier single. Sounds confident, right? Sounds like someone who's figured it out, who's chosen freedom over the drama and messiness of dating and relationships. But here's what I've noticed in my work with gay men. There's usually something much deeper going on. Today, we're talking about why so many end up single even when part of them still wants love, and the truth about what's really happening when someone says, I'm better off alone. I get many comments like this one. I love being single. I get all my wine, all my time, all my space. And that's totally valid. They love their own space, they've got good things going on, and they're genuinely happy. But if you're watching this, ask yourself, was there ever a time when you really wanted a loving relationship? When you thought about building a life with someone, growing old together, having that person to come home to? If the answer is no, if you've genuinely never felt drawn to that, then this video is not for you. But if there was ever a moment when your heart said yes to the idea of a loving relationship, then let's talk about how someone goes from hoping for love to convincing themselves they don't need it. Because somewhere along the way, something shifted. Dating started feeling more like all risk, no reward. It started feeling like too much trouble or more dangerous than fun. Whatever it was, there was this shift where things where keeping yourself safe became more important than finding love, where not getting hurt again mattered more than anything else. Staying away from anything that could hurt you, now it becomes its own addiction. It's a relief when you don't have to wonder if someone will text back or to decode mixed signals or worry about being enough. That relief becomes the drug. You're not choosing happiness, you're choosing your dealer. And then, after enough time being careful, a lot of guys develop what feels like a clearer view of love and relationships. You start thinking things like love is a myth or relationships never work. And honestly, when you've been through enough disappointment, those conclusions feel absolutely true. But here's what's really happening. When people decide love doesn't work, they want a guarantee it won't hurt and it'll always be smooth. They want the connection without the arguments, the intimacy without the risk of a heartbreak. And when love gets messy, as it sometimes does, they conclude it's broken. This isn't being realistic about relationships. This is demanding a relationship to be perfect, which means you're demanding the impossible. Quick invitation. If you're resonating with what I'm saying, you'll find your people in True Gay Connections, my private community for authentic friendship. The link to join is in the video description. Now, I also noticed something else that can get tricky. Once you've told everyone how great your single life is, you're stuck keeping up this story. You're celebrating your independence, maybe even post about your freedom on social media. And now, if you ever admit you want companionship, it could feel like admitting you are not being honest to everyone, including yourself. And if you do find yourself constantly having to convince yourself you don't want something, that can be exhausting work. Here's the thing about giving up on love. You think you're avoiding getting hurt, but you're not. You're just swapping one kind of hurt for another. Breakups hurt intensely, but the pain fades as time goes by. But regrets or haunting yourself with what-if thoughts, that doesn't heal. It just sits there, this constant ache that wears on you over time. Look, I'm not saying everyone who's single is lying to themselves, but if you have to keep convincing yourself and others that you're better off alone, if it takes that much work, then you're probably not choosing, you're protecting. And staying safe isn't the same as being happy. Staying safe is just about not getting hurt. But being happy, that means taking some chances, because real happiness comes from the possibility of something good happening, which means being open to disappointment too. So think about what you actually want. More time to yourself and no one else's schedule to worry about? Or waking up next to someone who chose you, someone who loves coming home to you, someone who makes even ordinary Tuesday nights feel special just because you're together. Whether you choose to stay single or open your heart again, that's your choice to make. But be sure when you're choosing, you're not just protecting yourself and calling it a choice. Because there's a difference between living the life that feels safest and living the life you really want. And you deserve to know which one you're actually choosing. What part of this video hit home for you? Let me know in the comments, because you're not the only one feeling this way. Love you all.